Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of SoTellUs Time. I'm so excited. It's 2020. First episode of 2020. Thanks for coming back. I hope you guys had a great year. Hope you finished strong. 2019 was amazing for us.
Yep.
The podcast grew by thousands upon thousands of listeners and downloads. It was awesome. And I'm excited to be with you guys in this new year. So, new year, new goals. That's today's theme. New year, new goals. And I don't mean, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to get super fit this year and it's going to be awesome. And then, 2 days into the new year, you've already stopped going to the gym and you're eating out and you're eating a bunch of crap and it's not awesome. Because I tell you what, January 1 at the gym where I go was crazy. But I know, give it just a few days, give it especially a few weeks, and it's going to die off. And everybody that's all like, yeah, they won't be there.
They'll be on their couch watching Netflix.
They'll be on their couch watching Netflix while we're all at the gym. Now, going to the gym, that is actually a great goal to set for the new year, guys, because a healthy body and just feeling better creates a healthy mind, also creates a healthy business. The healthier you are, the better your business will be. And that is literally a fact. I mean, it's crazy because Troy worked at a company, was VP of a company where the presidents, it went through like 3 presidents who had heart attacks or something like that, right?
Yes.
At young ages, like 50. Right? 45, 50. And it was just that they just were not healthy people. They weren't taking care of their bodies. So it's very important to do that. So no, new year, new goals. We're not talking about fitness, but definitely you can add that one to your business goals for the year. Get your body better, get your business better. But today we're going to be talking about what kind of goals are you going to implement for 2020 for your business? What are your business goals? And it can be really easy. For instance, like with SoTellUs, we are going to do a minimum of 1,200 new clients this year. So with 1,200 clients, I have to know my numbers. I basically have to say, okay, that's 1,200 in 12 months. That's 100 every single month. And that is 23, about 23 per week that we're going to have to put on. We're going to have to be onboarding 23 new clients a week in order to get that 1,200. Now that's our minimum goal. So we're going to actually try to supersede that. We're going to surpass that. It's going to be awesome. But you have to put these goals out and you have to put them out there. You have to create the game plan in order to do it. And it was funny because I sat down with a guy once and he said, well, I'm going to add this many new customers this year. And I said, that's great. So how are you going to do that? And he's like, I don't know, sell them? And I'm like, yeah, definitely you guys are going to sell them. But like how many, that means you have to do this many and this many per month and this many per week and this many per day. So what is your, marketing tree here that's bringing in these leads? And he was like, no, I don't know. I'm not even close to that many sales. Right. So it's awesome to set these super high goals and everything. But if you don't have a plan in place to execute that, it's never going to happen. So making sure you're setting realistic goals and then working out those numbers, that will help you make those, the determination if it's realistic for you that year or not.
Yes, exactly.
Just putting those numbers in. So then what do we go from there? After we've set our goals and we know what we have to do, what do we do from there, Troy?
Right. And again, we're talking about setting goals across anywhere. It can be sales. It can be number of employees you want to grow, this year, whatever you want it to be, right? You just break down those numbers of what do you got to do every month? What do you got to do every week to make that happen?
Yeah. Maybe you want to expand your office. Well, that takes more revenue. So how are you going to get that additional revenue? Or where is that place at? And you just have to look at it and you have to say, these are my goals, and you put them out there, right?
Yep. And then the next thing you got to do is you got to be able to track those goals, because that's really important, is actually tracking it. Because here's the problem. You create a goal, you say, yeah, this is my goal, and then you track nothing. You do nothing. Yeah. Right? You're never going to hit the goal if you're not tracking it. Yeah. So there's several different ways that you can track your goals. A very easy way to do it is just do a spreadsheet. Yeah. Right? So if we'll talk about sales again, if you want to hit so many sales, and you break that down like Trevor did, okay, that's 1,200 sales for the year, 100 sales for the month, 23 sales for the week, about 4 sales a day. Right? Yep. So you create a spreadsheet, you start tracking those. Okay, how many sales did I get this week? Next week, right? And now you know whether you're going to hit your goal or not. Yep. Whether you're above or below or on track, right? So a spreadsheet's a very easy way to do it. Another good way to do it is to have a whiteboard up in your office, or somewhere that you're, especially if you have employees, if you have goals for your employees, have a whiteboard, put the goals up on that.
And especially for home-based businesses too.
Yes.
When you're at home, put it on the whiteboard so you can see it every single day when you walk into your office.
Yeah, exactly. So important. Like, for example, like our sales guys, we have a whiteboard out there, and they, not only do we put our goals on there for them, but they put their goals on there too. Like, one of them has a goal of, I'm going to do 10 phone calls, 10 emails before lunch every day.
Yep.
Right? So they see that when they come in, boom, that's what they're focused on. So a whiteboard is another great way to do it. The other thing that's nice about a whiteboard is not only do you see it, but then other people see it too.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of accountability there, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Another thing you do is like a notebook. You know, if you're out and about and you're not in one place, maybe you're, in your vehicle, you're on the road all day long. So you're not going to see a whiteboard. Okay, put it in a notebook, right? Yeah. Have a notebook with you.
And if you're in your truck, by the way, I had a client that he printed his goals out for the year and he just taped it to his dashboard over there on the passenger side so that he could see it all day long.
Exactly. Another thing I was going to say, just something that popped in my head right now is, write out your goal, take a picture of it, and if you're using iPad all day long, put it as the screensaver on the iPad.
So you see it every time.
Every single time you turn your iPad on because you're working, boom, you see your goals, right? So that's another way to do it. And then there's some programs that you can use out there to track it as well. So for example, like our company, we run, pretty much the company through Infusionsoft that runs all of our billing, everything. We've talked about them in the past. Definitely go check out that episode. On how we run our business with Infusionsoft. But there's great companies like Graphly that you can plug into Infusionsoft. And then what it does is it takes all of that massive data that we have around sales, revenues, everything, and then it puts it all into a graphical interface.
Yeah.
So like awesome. I have a dashboard. Every day when I come into the office, I open up my internet browser, boom, my dashboard pops up. I can see revenues, sales, everything is right there in front of me graphically. So that's another great tool to put it in front of you visually every single day.
Yep.
And then, again, we talked about it a little bit, but put them where everyone can see them.
Yeah.
So that people can hold you accountable. And that's kind of the next thing I want to talk about is how do you report on your goals and how do you stay accountable for your goals?
Right.
Especially if maybe you're the only owner, right? You're the only person in the business. It's a one-man show or one-woman show, right?
It's really easy for you to just be like, oh yeah, I guess I'm not really hitting my goals, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll just change that number, right? So how do you hold yourself accountable? And we'll talk about that for different ones. So one of the ways to do it is have what we call an accountability partner.
Yes.
So this is really important. Think about like Trevor brought up the idea of going to the gym, working out, right? You go, you're working out, you're doing okay. And then after a couple of weeks, boom, you drop off.
Yeah. And why is that? 90%. Why is that? Because.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, because they don't have anybody there with them, right?
Right.
And really, even beyond that, like, why do you think it's so successful? People have such great results when they use a trainer.
Yep.
Because someone is giving them a plan. They're giving them a game plan. That's exactly, think about a personal trainer. It's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Because they're going to create a goal for you, and then they're going to create the way that you're going to reach that goal, and then they're going to be there working with you on that goal and hold you accountable to hit that goal.
Exactly. That's the whole point. That's a perfect example of what we're talking about today. So same thing, like you said, if you have a partner there, right, they're expecting you to show up, then you're going to be there. That's another actually good thing that I just thought of now, as you mentioned that, as we talked about that, is also you're paying them, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to show up because you already paid them to show up.
Yeah.
So you're not going to waste your money and not show up.
Exactly.
And I want you to think about that because, whether you're paying a professional trainer or you're paying yourself, right, as a business owner. Yep. So it's almost the reverse. If you don't show up and hit your goal, you don't get to pay yourself all that extra money.
Yeah, or maybe like, for instance, like the program like we're using Infusionsoft, a lot of people think, man, that's really robust and it's like a little bit more pricey than what I want to spend. You can't think of it that way. You got to think of it as like, okay, yeah, so I'm going to spend a little bit of money on this. I'm spending some money and maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, or maybe you've wanted a program and you haven't done it because it's a little bit of a stretch. But there's so much more to that program, like the accountability with the reporting. The Graphly helps you see where you're at. It's not just tracking it, but it's also helping you visually see with the Infusionsoft and the Graphly that I'm either hitting my goals or I'm not hitting my goals. And so you're able to do that. So maybe that helps you spend that money that you kind of thought, well, I really want this program, but it's a little bit more than what I want to spend right now. That might, seeing it as more than just a program for a certain thing, like a CRM, a customer management system, or whatever it is, seeing it for what it truly is, all encompassing, that might help you take that step. So.
Yep, exactly. So accountability partner. It can be a business partner. If you have a business partner, then hold each other accountable, right? Put your goals up there, put it out there, and then talk about those goals all the time.
Yeah.
And where, whether you're hitting them or not. It could be, with your employees, because you should be setting goals for your employees as well, right? They should have goals of, what they're going to do for the business. So their accountability partner could be the manager
Yeah.
over them. It could be other employees.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
A lot of times our sales guys, they put their goals up and then it's a competition. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm going to hit my goal. No, I'm going to hit my goal first. You know,
Yeah.
they hold each other accountable. If you're by yourself, you know, and maybe it's your spouse, right?
Absolutely.
Talk to your spouse.
And they'll
about-
hold you accountable. Trust me.
Exactly, right? If you tell your spouse, hey, look, I'm going to work super hard because this year we're going to make X instead of X,
Yeah.
they're going to hold you accountable for that, right? They're going to want you out there working your butt off until you get
That's
to
right.
whatever that goal is.
Yeah. And then when you hit that goal, she's going to give you XXX.
Right?
Oops, naughty.
Right. We'll have to censor that one out. All right. So then the other thing is maybe you don't have a spouse or whatever, a business associate, right? It could be a friend who owns a business. It could be, someone that you have a partnership with. You can use them as a accountability as well. You can set up, hey, let's just do a phone call once a month. Let's talk about our businesses and, tell me where you're at on your goals. I'll tell you where I'm at. And then give each other some advice on how we can reach our goals, right? Yep. So accountability there. Another way to do accountability besides just an accountability partner is company meetings. So like us, we have our weekly meeting. Again, we don't spend a lot of time in meetings. We spend about a half hour max per meeting. We have a couple of them a week maximum, depending on, with the different departments. Yep. But in those, we're talking about our goals.
That's right.
If with our sales guys, it's all about the goals. It's
absolutely.
What did you sell? What's your goal? How close are your goal? How are you going to hit your goal? Right? Yep. Because they've got to break it down. They've got 30 days. They got to hit their monthly goal so they can keep working here and making good money.
That's right.
Right? So in those company meetings, that's when you talk about those goals, and you don't just, you really get into whether are we hitting our goal, are we not hitting our goal. But it doesn't end there. Then it's if we're not hitting our goal, what are we going to do now so that we can hit our goal? What are we going to change, right? So you want to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable, because if there's no accountability, then it really isn't a goal.
Yeah.
And you're never going to reach it.
That's right.
All right. So now, Trevor, let's say we are accountable. We are going to reach our goal. How do we reward ourselves?
Yeah, we hit those goals, and now we need to have something fun that happens with that, right? So it's rewarding, putting in something in place. So it's all preparation and planning, right? Just like we're setting our goals and we're planning for how we're going to accomplish those goals. It's the same thing all the way through the process and all the way to the end of that. Now we've hit goals, and we want to have things that make our employees want to hit their goals and that we want to hit our goals. And so that's rewards. We want to reward ourselves, whether that's a weekly reward or a monthly reward or an annual reward or some huge reward that's at the end of the year that, it's such a big deal that the whole team's working towards it. I mean, a good buddy of mine, he has a dental office. He's a dentist, and they have a huge office actually. And they have big goals for their whole company. And if everyone hits their goals, they do huge trips. Like they'll take the entire company to Hawaii or to New Zealand, or it's super awesome. And so they've set up these rewards that make their employees want to work really hard. So there's a couple different ways that you can do it. Is you can do some simple things like commissions.
Yep.
And that's like something that's, weekly or monthly, bi-weekly or even monthly. So they get paid out and they're like seeing the fruits of that labor right away, which is super cool. You can set up something that's more like maybe, every quarter or something like that, like a paid time off.
Yep.
Which is super fun. Like, who doesn't like getting paid and not having to work? That's awesome. But it's worth it. Like, we've had home inspectors that have done that with their inspectors that in the review system, right? With SoTellUs, one home inspector was running a promo with his people that whoever got the most reviews that month would get 3 days paid vacation, and he was going to take them fishing on his awesome fishing boat.
Yes.
And so they were super stoked about that. It was an awesome reward. And then lastly, there's a million other things you can do. But like I just talked about with my friend, he does vacations. So that's going to be once a year, right? And the team has to hit the goals, and you have to keep them accountable, and they actually have to work towards it. But when they do that, that I made X because they did this. Like, the company grew, everything was awesome. Because sometimes people look at it and they go, whoa, like a trip, that's so expensive. But you know what? It gives them, you already know that goal was set to a place where you're going to be successful because they hit that number. So now you want to reward them with something really big, and it's awesome. So you could do something once a year, like everybody hit their goals or whatever that is, and now there's a vacation. And you tell them at the beginning of the year, like, hey, this is the vacation that we're going to be doing, guys. Like, and you can map it all out and plan it all out and get them really excited about it, because that's the whole point. Like, people want to be excited. People want to achieve something. And so by putting these different things in, you can totally be successful.
Well,
And then
I was gonna say the other thing too about vacations is that's a really good one if you're a sole proprietor. You know, if you're the only one in the business, right? So
take yourself on a vacation.
Yeah, you may not give yourself commissions, right? You're probably not going to give yourself paid time off because there's no such thing as paid time off, right? When you're the one doing the work. So what you do is you give yourself a vacation.
Yeah.
Right? And that helps with like your spouse and your kids, right? To get you motivated. You say, hey, you know what? If we hit this business goal this year as a family, then we're going to do this vacation.
Yeah.
Right?
Hold mom to it, right? So like she's saying, you know, hey, honey, you help me hit my goals. You help me stay focused, right? You help me, you allow me, you're helping with the kids at night when you get home from work or whatever that is, and you're allowing me the time to get my work done and hit my goals, and this is what we're going to do. Kids, you guys, you got to leave mom alone. You know, you got to leave dad alone while I'm working.
Yep.
So that I can hit my goals so that we can, you know, do whatever, go to Disneyland this year or do whatever that trip may be, a cruise or something like that.
Right.
So then the whole family gets on board and you've got people behind you. Like when you're tired and you're exhausted and you don't want to do this anymore, the kids are going, no, mom, get back in there. Get back into the office. You gotta get this. We want to go to Disneyland, you know?
Exactly. You got them cheering for you. And also it's a reward for them because, you know, again, our family sacrifice, right?
Yep.
They sacrifice for us to run our businesses and to grow them and to be successful.
Yes.
So it's a reward to them for the sacrifice that they're giving
That's right.
for us. So that's a great way to do it, you know, for your own family.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's one thing I want to throw in, one idea for a goal that you guys might want to set this year. We were talking with a client earlier and we were talking about retention. He has a business where he's able to put a lot of businesses in the top or a lot of new clients in the top, and it's really good and the business grows. But he has a number that is a little bit higher than desirable fall out the bottom. And so we talked about retention. So your goals could be, that would be a really good one because I don't feel like a lot of people think about retention. They work so hard. We all work so hard to put new customers in. But what are we doing to maintain those customers once we have them and keep them for long term? I mean, if you're not keeping a customer for at least 2 to 3 years, you probably have a problem. You've got some holes in that bucket that need to be filled. So retention might be one. And I just am thinking that off the top of my head because of that consultation we just did, talking about how they could, you know, bring that retention up and, you know, that loss down. And that's going to be a big goal for them this year because that's going to keep a lot of money. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of thousands in some of these businesses, millions of dollars if they would just retain more of their customers. So think about that one, guys. Troy, anything left to add?
No, that's it for me. Just get out there and make new goals.
Yes. And get to the gym and stay past 2 weeks. It's going to be awesome. And if you have to get someone to work out with you, then get someone to work out with you. If you have to get a personal trainer, hey, go get a personal trainer. Again, invest in yourself just like you would invest in your business. Because you don't want to build an awesome business that then at 50 years old, you die because you have a heart attack or you got clogged arteries or something, right? So take care of yourself. Invest in yourself the way that you would invest in your business. All right, guys. Well, that's it. It's a quick, short one for the first podcast of 2020. Super exciting. Again, as always, share it. Let the people know. Get it on your social media. Let everybody know. Just tell people. They can search SoTellUs or SoTellUs Time, and they're going to find our podcast on YouTube and any podcast channel. Let's grow this for 2020 and keep helping businesses all around the world grow. We'll catch you guys later.
Later.